Carlos Alcaraz. Carlos Alcaraz Garcia, Spanish pronunciation, born the 5th of May 2003, is a Spanish professional tennis player. He has been ranked as high as world number 1 in men's singles by the Association of Tennis Professionals, ATP, and is the current world number 3. Alcaraz has won 14 ATP Tour-level singles titles, including 3 major titles, at the 2022 US Open, 2023 Wimbledon Championships, and 2024 French Open, and 5 Masters 1000 titles. Following his win at the 2022 US Open, Alcaraz became the youngest man and the first male teenager in the Open era to top the singles rankings, at 19 years, 4 months, and 6 days old. Alcaraz began his career as a professional tennis player in 2018. From the age of 15, he won 3 titles on the ITF Men's World Tennis Tour and 4 on the ATP Challenger Tour. He broke into the top 100 in rankings in May 2021, and ended that year in the top 35 after reaching his first major quarterfinal at the US Open. In March 2022, Alcaraz won his first Masters 1000 title at the Miami Open at the age of 18, and then won his second at the Madrid Open where he defeated Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic, and Alexander Zverev in succession. In late 2022, Alcaraz won his first major singles title at the US Open, finishing the year as the youngest year-end number 1 in ATP ranking history. He was later named the Laureus World Breakthrough of the Year for his performance in the 2022 season. In 2023, Alcaraz claimed 2 additional Masters 1000 titles at Indian Wells and Madrid, and earned his second major title at Wimbledon, defeating Djokovic to become the first champion outside of the Big Four since Lleyton Hewitt in 2002. In 2024, he won his 3rd major title at the French Open, becoming the youngest man in history to complete the career Surface Slam. Early life. Carlos Alcaraz was born on the 5th of May 2003, in El Palmar, Murcia, Spain, to parents Carlos Alcaraz González and Virginia Garcia Escandón. He has 3 siblings. Alcaraz started playing tennis at the age of 4 at the Real Sociedad Club de Campo de Murcia, Royal Murcia Country Club, where his father was the tennis academy director, and his grandfather one of the club's founders. Alcaraz's father had been a ranked player in Spain, but ultimately was not able to make a career out of playing tennis. In 2018, Alcaraz moved to Villena to begin training at Juan Carlos Ferrero's JC Ferrero Equalite Sport Academy. Professional career. 2020, ATP debut. In February 2020, at the age of 16, Alcaraz made his ATP main draw debut at the Rio Open after receiving a wild card for the singles main draw. There, he defeated Albert Ramos Vinolas. Alcaraz was defeated in the second round by Federico Coria. At age 17, Alcaraz made it to the main draw of the Australian Open, making him the youngest participant in the men's singles. He won his Grand Slam tournament debut defeating fellow qualifier Botic van der Zandschulp in straight sets before losing in the second round to Michael Ymer. Alcaraz became the youngest match winner in the Madrid Open's history, defeating Adrian Mannarino as a wild card and breaking then 18-year-old Rafael Nadal's record from 2004. In the second round, he lost to 5-time champion Nadal on Alcaraz's 18th birthday. By winning the biggest title of his career until then at the 2021 Open de Irish 3 Challenger Tournament, he entered the top 100 as the youngest player at the age of 18 on the 24th of May 2021. At the French Open, Alcaraz reached the 3rd round of a major for the first time in his career by defeating Nicolas Basilashvili. In July 2021, he reached his first ATP final at the 2021 Croatia Open Umag, defeating top seed Albert Ramos Vinolas. He then won his maiden ATP title by defeating Richard Gasquet and becoming the youngest tour-level champion since 18-year-old Kei Nishikori won the Delray Beach Open in 2008. Alcaraz was the youngest Spaniard to win an ATP Tour title since Nadal claimed his first trophy in Sopot in 2004. At Wimbledon, he lost in the second round to Daniil Medvedev. At the Winston-Salem Open, Alcaraz reached the round of 16 defeating qualifier Alexei Popyrin, and his second tour-level quarter-final of the season defeating 4th seed Marton Fucsovics. He defeated Marcos Giron to reach the semi-finals, where he lost to Mikhail Ymer. At the US Open, Alcaraz defeated world number 3 Stefanos Tsitsipas in a 5th-set tiebreak to reach the 4th round in the biggest win of his career. At 18 years of age, Alcaraz became the youngest man in a major 4th round since 17-year-old Andrei Medvedev at the 1992 French Open, and the youngest man in the US Open 4th round since 17-year-old Michael Chang and 18-year-old Pete Sampras in 1989. He then reached the quarter-finals by defeating qualifier Peter Gojowczyk. Alcaraz became the youngest US Open men's quarter-finalists in the Open era, the youngest at the tournament since 18-year-old Tomasz Koch in 1963, and the youngest Grand Slam tournament men's singles quarter-finalists since 18-year-old Michael Chang at the 1990 French Open. He then lost to Felix Auger-Aliassime via retirement in the second set in the quarter-finals after injuring his leg. At the Erste Bank Open, Alcaraz defeated world number 7 Matteo Berrettini, his second win over a top 10 player, and became the youngest player in the top 35 on the 1st of November. During his Paris Masters run, Alcaraz defeated French wildcard Pierre-Hugues Herbert in 3 thrilling sets in the first round. He then defeated Jannik Sinner in straight sets in the second round, his third win over a top 10 player. In the third round, he was defeated by Hugo Gaston in straight sets. At the next-gen ATP Finals, Alcaraz defeated Brandon Nakashima, Juan Manuel Cerundolo, and Holger Rune in the round-robin stage. He beat Sebastian Baez in the semi-final, and Sebastian Korda in the final. 2022, first Grand Slam title, youngest number 1, year-end number 1. Seeded for the first time in a major at number 31, Alcaraz reached the third round of the Australian Open before losing in 5 sets to Matteo Berrettini. Seeded 7th at the Rio Open, Alcaraz won his first ATP 500 title by defeating Diego Schwartzman in the final. He entered the top 20 in the singles rankings on the 21st of February 2022. In Indian Wells, Alcaraz reached his first Masters 1000 quarter-final and semi-final, defeating defending champion Cameron Norrie before losing to Rafael Nadal. Seeded 14th at the Miami Open, Alcaraz defeated 6th seed Casper Ruud to win his first Masters 1000 title, the youngest men's champion in the tournament's history and the third youngest ATP Masters 1000 titleist in history. At the Monte Carlo Masters, Alcaraz lost in the second round to Sebastian Korda. At the Barcelona Open, Alcaraz defeated top seed Stefanos Tsitsipas in the quarter-finals to enter the top 10 in rankings for the first time on the 25th of April 2022. He became the 20th team to break into top 10 overall since rankings were established in 1973, and the youngest since Rafael Nadal also on the 25th of April 2005. Alcaraz would make his top 10 debut exactly 17 years after Nadal made his top 10 debut, which is also their difference in ages, meaning they both made their top 10 debuts shortly before they each turned 19 years of age. Alcaraz later defeated Pablo Carreño Busta to win the title. A day after his 19th birthday at the Madrid Open, he defeated 5-time Madrid champion, world number 4 and 3rd seed Rafael Nadal in the quarter-finals to become the first teenager to defeat him on clay. The following day, he beat the world number 1 and top seed Novak Djokovic in the semi-finals for his 6th straight top 10 win, and became the youngest player to win a match against a world number 1 since 2004. He also became the first player to ever beat Djokovic and Nadal back-to-back on clay. In the final, he won his 4th title for the season, and second Masters 1000, by defeating defending champion and world number 3 Alexander Zverev, thereby defeating the top 3 seeds in 3 consecutive matches. He also became the youngest champion in tournament history. As a result, he climbed to a career high of world number 6 in the rankings on the 9th of May 2022. Following his withdrawal from the Italian Open due to an ankle injury, Alcaraz made his seeded debut at the French Open as number 6. Having won two of the tour's biggest titles on clay coming into the Slam, he was widely projected to be one of the favorites for the title. He defeated Juan Ignacio Londero in straight sets before saving a match point in a second-round five-setter against Albert Ramos Vinolas. He then defeated Korda and Karen Khachanov in straight sets before losing to Zverev. In the second major quarter-final of his career. At Wimbledon, Alcaraz beat Jan-Lennard Struff in a close five-set match before defeating Talon Griekspoor and Oscar Otte in straight sets, reaching the round of 16 for the first time at this major. He lost to Jannik Sinner in the fourth round. At the Hamburg Open, he reached the final, resulting in a new career high of world number 5 on the 25th of July 2022. Alcaraz became the youngest player to enter the top 5 in rankings since Nadal in 2005. He was defeated in the final by Lorenzo Musetti, resulting in the first loss in a tournament final of his career. At the Croatia Open, he reached his second consecutive final, resulting in another ranking jump to world number 4 on the 1st of August. Alcaraz entered the 2022 US Open as the number 3 seed. He defeated Sebastian Baez, Federico Coria and Jenson Brooksby without dropping a set to reach the fourth round. Next he defeated 15th seed Marin Cilic in 5 sets, becoming the youngest man to reach back-to-back quarter-finals at this major in the Open era. In his quarter-final match he defeated Jannik Sinner, saving a match point in the fourth set. The match set the record as the latest finish, at 2:50 am EST, and second longest match, 5 hours and 15 minutes, in US Open history. He defeated Francis Tiafoe in the semi-finals for his third consecutive 5-set match victory. He defeated 5th seed Casper Ruud in the final, where both players were in contention for the world number 1 ranking, to win the title. Alcaraz became the youngest number 1 in the history of the ATP rankings at the age of 19 years, 4 months and 6 days, breaking Leighton Hewitt's record. He also became the first teenager in the Open era to top the men's rankings and the youngest men's US Open champion since Pete Sampras in 1990. In his first match as world number 1, Alcaraz lost his singles match at the 2022 Davis Cup Finals to Felix Auger-Aliassime. Next, he lost to David Goffin at the Astana Open in his opening round. Alcaraz reached the semi-finals in Basel, where he was defeated by the eventual champion Auger-Aliassime for a second time in the season. At the Paris Masters, Alcaraz reached the quarter-finals after defeating Yoshihito Nishioka and Grigor Dimitrov, but retired while being a set down against Holger Rune. A day later, Alcaraz announced he had suffered an abdominal tear requiring a 6-week layoff, forcing him to end his season early. Alcaraz withdrew from the ATP Finals and the Davis Cup Finals. Alcaraz, at the age of 19 years and 214 days, ended the year as youngest and first teenager world number 1. 2023, 100th career win and Wimbledon champion. On the 7th of January, Alcaraz announced his withdrawal from the Australian Open due to a hamstring injury he suffered in his right leg while training. Following the tournament, he lost the world number 1 ranking to the champion Novak Djokovic. He held the ranking for a total of 20 weeks. In his first tournament for the 2023 season at the Golden Swing in South America, Alcaraz won his 7th title at the Argentine Open, defeating second seed Cameron Norrie. Defending his title at the Rio Open, he reached back-to-back finals where he played against Norrie again, but lost in 3 sets. Alcaraz was additionally scheduled to play in Acapulco in the month of February, but withdrew prior to the tournament after suffering another hamstring injury. At the Indian Wells Open he recorded his 100th career win, defeating 31st seed Talon Griekspoor to reach the 4th round, making him the second fastest player to reach this milestone after John McEnroe, and faster than the Big Three. After reaching the semi-finals, Alcaraz defeated 11th seed Jannik Sinner in straight sets in an anticipated match. Defeating 5th seed Daniil Medvedev in the final, he won his 8th career title and 3rd Masters 1000 title, breaking Medvedev's 19-match winning streak, and becoming the first player to win the tournament without dropping a set since Roger Federer in 2017. He additionally became the ninth and youngest man to win both legs of the Sunshine Double. As a result, he returned to world number 1 on the 20th of March 2023. In Miami, where Alcaraz was the defending champion, he reached the semi-finals having not dropped a set, defeating Facundo Bagnis, Dusan Lajovic, 16th seed Tommy Paul and 9th seed Taylor Fritz. This time he lost to Jannik Sinner in 3 sets. He dropped to number 2 in the rankings, having not been able to defend his previous year title points. Alcaraz was scheduled to play at the Monte Carlo Masters the following week, but withdrew due to post-traumatic arthritis in his left hand and muscular discomfort in his spine. He began the European clay court swing at the Barcelona Open, defeating Stefanos Tsitsipas in the final. He successfully defended his title without dropping a set. He won his 10th career title at the Madrid Open again as the defending champion, defeating lucky loser Jan-Lennard Struff. At the next clay court tournament, the Rome Masters, Alcaraz earned the opportunity to clinch the number 1 ranking from Novak Djokovic just by playing his second round match. However, he would be upset in the third round by the world number 135 Fabian Marozsan in straight sets, in what John Wertheim labeled the biggest upset of the year. At the 2023 French Open, Alcaraz advanced to the semi-finals. In a highly anticipated match, he was defeated by Novak Djokovic in 4 sets, after suffering cramps at the onset of the third. Alcaraz and Djokovic had not played against each other in over a year, despite alternating between the world number 1 ranking throughout 2023. Alcaraz would later claim the nerves of the occasion had partially led to his cramping. Djokovic regained the number 1 ranking from Alcaraz, after he ultimately went on to win the tournament. At the Queen's Club Championships, he recorded his first title on grass in only his 3rd career grass court tournament, beating Alex de Minaur in the final. The tournament win in London also returned him to the world number 1 in rankings. At the 2023 Wimbledon Championships, as the top seed, he reached the final following wins over Jeremy Chardy, Alexandre Muller, Nicolas Jarry, Matteo Berrettini, Holger Rune, and Daniil Medvedev. In a monumental match, Alcaraz defeated Novak Djokovic in 5 sets, ending Djokovic's run to win a 5th consecutive title, and securing the number 1 ranking. With this win, Alcaraz became the 2nd player, after Andy Murray, to defeat Djokovic in a Wimbledon final. Additionally, Alcaraz became the first non-Big Four player to win Wimbledon since Lleyton Hewitt's victory in 2002. Losing in the quarter-finals of Toronto to Tommy Paul, Alcaraz would then lose to Djokovic in a rematch of their Wimbledon final, at the Cincinnati final. He lost in 3 sets, despite having a championship point in the 2nd set tiebreak. It was the longest ever best-of-3 sets ATP Masters final and the longest match in the tournament's history, at 3 hours and 49 minutes. Djokovic would praise it as one of the toughest matches of life. At the 2023 US Open, where Alcaraz was looking to defend his Grand Slam title, he reached the semi-finals having only dropped 1 set. However, he lost to 2021 champion Daniil Medvedev in 4 sets. Alcaraz dropped to number 2 in the rankings following the tournament, as Novak Djokovic was not defending any points. He additionally withdrew from the Davis Cup finals, citing tiredness. Alcaraz entered the year-end indoor hardcourt season with the goal of gaining the year-end number 1 ranking. However, in the Asian swing, he lost to Jannik Sinner in the semi-finals of Beijing for a 2nd time in the season, and then to Grigor Dimitrov in the round of 16 at Shanghai. He then withdrew from Basel due to injury, and lost in his opening round at the Paris-Bercy Masters to Roman Safelin. At the ATP Finals in Turin, Alcaraz reached the semi-finals after beating Andrei Rublev and Daniil Medvedev, and losing to Alexander Zverev, in the round-robin stage. He would be defeated by eventual champion Novak Djokovic in straight sets, for a 3rd time in the season. Ultimately, Alcaraz ended the season as the year-end world's number 2, 2024, French Open champion and career Surface Slam. Alcaraz began his 2024 campaign at Australian Open, making his furthest career run at the tournament after reaching the quarter-finals. He lost to the 6th seed Alexander Zverev in 4 sets. In February, Alcaraz entered 2024 Argentina Open as the defending champion and won his first 2 matches in straight sets before losing to Nicolas Jarry at the semi-final. He retired from the Rio Open the following week 2 games into his opening match due to a right ankle injury, after twisting his ankle. He later announced a lateral sprain of his right ankle but said he'd miss just a few days before Indian Wells. As defending champion in Indian Wells, Alcaraz came back into form, defeating Matteo Arnaldi, Felix Auger-Aliassime, Fabian Marozsan, and Alexander Zverev to reach the semi-finals, having only dropped 1 set in his opening match against Arnaldi. He next faced Jannik Sinner for an 8th career meeting, and defeated him to end Sinner's 19-match winning streak, leveling their rivalry to 4-4. Alcaraz successfully defended his title again, defeating Daniil Medvedev in the final, earning him his first title since Wimbledon 2023. In Miami, where he aimed to complete the Sunshine Double, Alcaraz reached the quarter-finals, defeating Roberto Carboez Baena, Gael Monfils, and Lorenzo Musetti without dropping a set. However, he then lost to eventual finalist Grigor Dimitrov for a 2nd consecutive time. Following the tournament, he dropped to world number 3 after being overtaken by Jannik Sinner. Prior to Roland Garros, Alcaraz experienced a shaky clay season. He withdrew from the Monte Carlo Masters and the Barcelona Open, the latter where he would be defending his title, due to a right forearm injury. In Madrid, where he was also defending champion, Alcaraz lost in the quarter-finals to eventual champion Andrei Rublev. He then withdrew from Rome due to the forearm injury. In June, he reached his 2nd French Open semi-final by defeating J.J. Wolf, Jesper de Jong, Sebastian Korda, Felix Auger-Aliassime, and Stefanos Tsitsipas. In the semi-final, Alcaraz would defeat 2nd seed Jannik Sinner in 5 sets to advance to his first French Open final. His opponent in the final would be 4th seed Alexander Zverev, who took the lead 2 sets to 1. Alcaraz would take the 4th set 6-1 and force a 5th decisive set, which he would win 6-2. At 21, he became the youngest male player in history to win a Grand Slam title on every surface. Rivalries. Jannik Sinner. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner have faced each other 9 times since 2021, with Alcaraz leading at 5-4. Notable matches include the 2024 French Open semi-final with Alcaraz winning in 5 sets, the 2022 US Open quarter-final, which Alcaraz won saving match points, going on to win the title, in 5 sets, and the 2023 Miami semi-final, which was won by Sinner. Novak Djokovic. Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic have faced each other 5 times, with Djokovic leading 3-2. Both have once won at a Masters and Major, and Alcaraz lost to Djokovic in the 2023 ATP Finals semi-final match. Their first meeting was at the 2022 Madrid Masters semi-finals, in which Alcaraz prevailed in a deciding set tiebreaker. Their next meeting would not be until the semi-finals of the 2023 French Open, which was highly anticipated and received immense hype from media and the ATP itself. Djokovic won in 4 sets, with the match competitive until Alcaraz faltered due to cramps from mental pressure and physical intensity. They would meet again soon after in the 2023 Wimbledon final, in which Alcaraz would defeat Djokovic in a 5-setter that lasted 4 hours and 42 minutes, ending his hopes for a Grand Slam and his record 45-match centre-court win streak. They would meet soon again in another epic at the 2023 Cincinnati Masters final, with Djokovic prevailing in 3 tightly contested sets after saving a match point. The match was the longest best-of-3 sets ATP Tour final and the longest match in the tournament's history, at 3 hours and 49 minutes, and was immediately praised as one of the best matches ever. Djokovic won despite being a set down and down a break in the 2nd set, along with saving a championship point in the 2nd set tiebreaker. Endorsements and philanthropy. Alcaraz is sponsored by Nike for clothing and shoes, and by Barbola for rackets, using the Barbola Pure Aero 98 racket. In January 2022, he became a brand ambassador for Rolex. He is also a brand ambassador for Derma cosmetics company Istin, Spanish food company El Pozo, and German automobile manufacturer BMW under their BMW Spain division. In January 2023, he became ambassador for the American clothing brand Calvin Klein, especially for their 1996 underwear campaign. In June 2023, Alcaraz became a brand ambassador for Louis Vuitton. In April 2024, Alcaraz announced the launch of the Carlos Alcaraz Garcia Foundation, with the aim of improving the lives of disadvantaged children. It is headquartered in El Palmar and operates with local schools. Playing style. Alcaraz is an all-court, all-round tennis player, but primarily employs an aggressive baseline style of play, with an emphasis on a high winner count from his forehand, typically his most reliable and potent shot. He can either hit his forehand flat and fast for winners from every court position, or add a great amount of topspin and margin over the net. He also possesses a well-rounded and more flat and lower net clearance backhand ground stroke that he is able to redirect down the line for clean winners. His greatly disguised drop shot is key to his game, as he often combines the heaviness of his ground strokes that pushes his opponents back into the court into a defensive position, with a drop shot that is often too well placed and disguised to deal with. He has an impressive net game with great drop volleys and drive volleys, and frequently serves and volleys on crucial points. In 2024, Mats Wilander declared that Alcaraz has the greatest forehand of all time, while Tim Henman said it was one of the most devastating shots in the game right now. Alcaraz has a strong first serve for his mid-sized frame, which is commonly around 115 to 120 miles per hour and hit with average placement. Alcaraz has a reliable second serve, to which he can add topspin in order to get a high bounce off the court and either push back or get a weak return from closer returning opponents. This serve typically reaches 150 to 170 km per hour, 93 to 106 miles per hour. Alcaraz has earned acclaim for his athletic and physical traits. In particular, his direct sprints, counter-attacking abilities, and an extremely high peak foot speed have garnered him comparisons to a young Rafael Nadal. He has been compared to Novak Djokovic for his assured lateral movement and court coverage aided by physical splits and sliding through the court on defense, particularly on his backhand side where he is often able to neutralize his opponent's ground stroke aggression or drop shot attempts. Court coverage and exceptional touch have also been crucial in his success. Media. Alcaraz will be the subject of the Netflix show Alcaraz, the docu-series produced by Morena Films, due to release in 2025. He had previously made appearances in both seasons of Netflix's Breakpoint docu-series. Awards: ATP Newcomer of the Year, 2020, ATP Player of the Year, 2022, ATP Most Improved Player, 2022, Laureus World Breakthrough of the Year, 2023, Stefan Edberg Sportsmanship Award, 2023.